Hello, everybody. It's Mrs. Pound. We are currently studying Chapter 20 on Human Anatomy and Physiology from BJU Biology's 4th edition. Today, we're going to talk about Section 20B, the Integumentary System. So our objectives will be to list and describe the layers of the skin, describe and know the cause of some common skin diseases and disorders, and identify some structures of hair follicles. So first, in the integumentary system, we're going to start by talking about the skin. There are 3 layers to the skin. They are, the first layer is the epidermis. This is the most superficial, which means outer layer of the skin, and it's made of epithelial cells. So already we have talked about some anatomical terms. And so if you look at superficial, it looks a lot like superior, which means higher. So that's why superficial is the outermost layer. And also epithelial cells, those are a type of tissue that is on the outside of our bodies. So that is the epidermis. And so when you look at your skin, you're looking at the epidermis. There's also the stratum corneum. This is the outermost layer of the epidermis made up of dead cells. So for the most part, when you're looking at the outer surface of your skin, you are looking at dead cells, and that is why your skin also flakes off. So because sometimes some of those dead cells come off. Just underneath is the dermis. This is the layer of the skin that contains blood vessels, nerve endings, sweat glands, hair follicles, and oil, also called sebaceous glands. So the living part of the skin is in the dermis and contains the most structures. Just under that is the subcutaneous layer. This is the deepest layer of the skin that attaches the dermis to underlying muscle, and it contains fat that insulates, cushions, and contours the body. So looking right here, it's this layer on the very bottom. This is the subcutaneous layer. Up above that, this is actually a sweat gland, these curly Q things. That would be the dermis, part of the dermis. So under that is the subcutaneous layer. Your skin also contains melanin. This is a pigment that helps protect the skin from exposure to ultraviolet radiation. This is why we tan in the summer, because there's more melanin in our skin when we tan. This also accounts for the variation in skin colors between people. Some people have darker skin because they have more melanin. You might also see variations in your own skin, perhaps where you have a mole. A mole is an area where you have more melanin. Skin diseases and disorders. Some common ones are calluses. These are thickened layers of the epidermis caused by pressure and friction. So this gentleman in the background works a lot with his hands, so he probably has a lot of calluses, and you'll find these perhaps on your hands if you work with your hands a lot, on your feet if you're on your feet a lot doing hard work. Acne is something many of us have problems with, and this is an inflammation of sebaceous glands caused by the blockage of pores. So if you have acne, you may want to go see a dermatologist because it's also caused by an infection to the skin. So you may need help getting rid of that infection. Warts are layers of hard dead cells caused by a virus. So maybe you have experienced warts before. It is caused by a virus, and that virus will stay in your system for a very long time. So perhaps you'll have some warts and you'll get them treated. They can be treated at the doctor's. You can treat them with acid or have them frozen off. And once they're treated, they could come back because that virus is still in your system. But it is a virus. So also part of the integumentary system are hair and nails. And what I want you to be aware of in this system are something called erector muscles. These are what give you goosebumps. So it is a muscle attached to a hair follicle that makes the hair stand on end and causes goosebumps. They're called erector muscles because it makes the hair stand up or become erect. Also, part of the integumentary system are skin glands. The skin glands are exocrine glands. These are glands that have a duct. If we look at all of these pictures, they all have ducts that lead to the outside. You can't see the one underneath my picture here, but that also leads to the outside. So exocrine glands lead to the outside and have a duct. One of those exocrine glands are sebaceous glands. These produce sebum and oil and usually connected to hair follicles by a duct. So right here where my arrow is, there's kind of a fatty looking little gland there. That is a sebaceous gland attached to a hair follicle here. That is why your hair gets greasy, because they are often attached to these sebaceous glands. Also over here, right, with the curlicue, this is a sweat gland leading out to the outside of the skin. So our objectives for this video were to list and describe the layers of the skin, describe and know the cause of some common skin diseases and disorders, and identify some structures of hair follicles. Don't forget your 5 questions for this video, and I'll be back with the next video.